What's up, homies? Welcome to Monday. Alright, so full transparency. I took a trade last night on my Top Step account and I full ported it. I full ported the account and blew it up. So no big deal. Like 2 trades, down $2,000. But like I said, accidentally made a mistake last week, not realizing the rules. So wanted a fresh start. Tired of playing catch up on that account. I used my reset, pushed my billing date back 30 days. I don't really want to spend any money right now on prop firms since I have 3 funded and now I have this reset bank. So it got me thinking. I need to have a different strategy going into this, and I need to dial in my point system and understand what I'm risking, why I'm risking, and so let's start there and go from there. Really quick though, we'll do our top-down analysis. So as you can see right here, we have, wow, okay. Well, you can see my chaos. Anyways, we're in this channel. I didn't want to bring this up because all my notes are really messy this morning, but I was just going to kind of redraw it. Anyways, here we are. We're in this channel. We're kind of breaking out. We swept liquidity, and then we came down hard and swept some liquidity too. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time here. Overall trend is still bearish. We have not gotten any confirmations that we are breaking. I think we would need to break this zone, come up, and retest before I would think or even look at anything like that. My watch is over here talking to me, man. Y'all tell it what's up, what's up. All right, dialing down to the 15-minute. I hop on pre-market this morning because I'm up super freaking early. This is a little trend line I made. Obviously, it got broke. Gonna delete that now. Okay, so overall, we're in this micro. We're moving up. We're coming up to test this area. We will see if we break out of here, if we do hold above this zone over here. But like I said, I'm not really hopeful. There's a lot of news going on right now, a lot of uncertainty in the market, a lot of volatility. So earlier last night, before I went to bed, I said potential triple top because we were coming up 1, 2, 3, failing to push past this zone. But we ended up coming down into this zone, which I'm going to dial in because it's just way too hard to see on my higher time frame. But you can see we're overall bearish, but respecting a bullish micro trend for now. So this last night, I'm sitting here trying to dial in my ladder system, and I'm trying to kind of mess with some numbers and stuff. I'm going to delete this for now because I'm still working on it, but you can kind of see I'm working on take profit 1, 2, and 3. So here's what I'm working on, and here's what I've come up with through all of the chaos of this last weekend and saying that I was going to sit here and look up prop firms and do some research. I've got an idea of what I'm going to do with that, but for now, I'm going to hold down the top step, use what I got here, try to pass this account, get another funded account, add that to the arsenal. If I can get that, maintain it, hold it, then we'll just add it and we'll have 2 funded accounts there, and then we'll have 4 to go for our plan. So basically what I'm trying to do is trade 1 account each week. But this combine is going to require more attention. So I'm not going to trade my funded accounts just yet. I'm going to focus on this one, try to pass it, and then I'll add it. So I'll keep the accounts live, make sure that I trade within that month time frame. I need to double check red lines because I'm not 100%. So last night I'm sitting here thinking, I need a system. So I came up with something with the homie, which is ChatGPT. So I'm sitting here thinking, all right, I need some kind of system that allows me to risk a little bit more. So I'm getting in with 3 MES, risking 7 points. That's going to make me risk about $105. And then we're going to shoot for a 15-point return, 14 to 15-point return. And that's going to put us in the 225 zone if it hits that take profit. And then we're going to be looking at, if we hit a take profit 3 in that zone, then we will be looking at making around. So last night I'm sitting here testing it, and we came up and actually beautifully hit it. We would not have gotten stopped out. I did not take this trade. I was just kind of like, okay, let's see how this works. So this morning I get up, I see that we sweep liquidity through this zone, and I'm like, okay, interesting. And I see that we're failing to make new highs over here. So I dial down into the 1 minute, and then this is kind of funny because I come up here, we have a fair value gap right in this zone. So I wait for an entry, we kind of start rejecting here. I take my shot right here. You can see my stop loss is 7 points above these highs over here, and I'm targeting 15 down. And this is before New York opened, so I was very, very weary on staying in this trade because of volatility. Here's what happened. I meant to offload 2 contracts of my 3, accidentally sold 2 more, so I ended up with 5 contracts here. So I closed the freaking trade. I closed it very, very quickly. So we didn't quite get the 1R. We're up 93 on the account, which no big deal. Because I made that mistake, I was like, okay, we cannot hold this, because if it goes against, rather than just, buying two more and then bringing my wrist down and doing that, I just kind of panicked in the moment because I'm dyslexic and I get that backwards. So that's kind of just what happened. I got out right here, which is right at close to a 1R. We got pretty close to, but with slippage and whatnot, it kind of knocked me out because I was like looking and I'm like, okay, we're at a 1R right now. Let me just close this because I'm panicking, and New York Open is coming in a few minutes anyway. So it's like 4 minutes, 5 minutes in this zone. So I'm targeting VWAP, and I'll put some screenshots up here so you can see. I had this all written before, but I didn't have it all dialed in where you can see it on the screen because it's on my phone, so it's super small. But I will put the kind of play-by-play because I did get down here once we showed our hand a little bit and we came down into the zone and we kind of broke the structure. I moved to break even, and then New York Open was coming. Hindsight 2020, if I would have held on, we would have had a banger of a day. But I also didn't set my risk settings because I'm trying to be more disciplined. I'm trying to carry that discipline over to other accounts. So I feel like risking $100 to make anywhere from 200 to 250 is a pretty reasonable shot, and I'm going to be able to pass accounts way quicker this way, and I can leave runners with using 3 contracts. But I'm not like looking so big, so now I have to wait for like a fair value gap entry and respect. And this honestly wasn't the best trade because we literally came down, tested VWAP, and rejected off of it, and then you can see the volatility was pretty freaking nutso. And it's making me think too, is this strategy going to allow me to trade New York? And this morning I would have been closer to, let's see what time this is. Sorry, my favorites are in the way here. What is this, around 10 a.m.? Yeah, so I might need to start paying attention closer to the 9:45 to 10 a.m., which is 8:45, to 9 at my time, but 9:45 to 10 is what I'm thinking is really kind of like, it's something I need to pay attention to. But look, we're kind of playing around on both sides and dancing, so I didn't even want to take another trade this morning, and I'm trying to dial a lot of things in right now. But I wanted to share this with you guys because this is chaotic over here. I got to figure out why the heck there's so many freaking things popping up over here with the numbers. I don't like how it's so like, what the frick are you even talking about? Like, you know what I mean? Some of these, so I'm gonna figure some of those things out. They may be drawings that I have from before. They may be inverse fair value gaps or something along those lines. Not important. But what is important is that I had a good analysis this morning. I felt like it was reasonable. We were targeting a solid zone, and my strategy is starting to develop more and more. The more that I do this with you guys, and the more that I do this with myself, honestly, because I have a very small following and very few people paying attention to me, but that's fine. You guys are going to go back and watch the progress one day, and I'm going to do the same thing because I'm constantly, when I'm editing these videos, it gives me process. When I go here and I sit down and I talk about what I did this morning, it processes. And this is a journal. This is a journal log. This isn't like me being some guru and telling you like, hey, I'm the best trader. I've even told you guys, if you guys use my freaking affiliate links, I'm straight up putting that into accounts and reinvesting into trading. I'm not going to go and spend a lavish lifestyle and be like, I'm the best trader in the world. I will be fully transparent with you. I have no reason to lie to you guys. Why would I sit here and be like, I blew an account this morning? Okay, whatever, dude. I did. I'm moving on. It's part of the game. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to get too caught up on those things, but I'm really, really excited that I'm like, okay, 7-point stop loss, 14 to 15 point is my take profit too. And I'm really just trying to like let trades play out and see what we can get some data here and have good targets and have a good reason to get in. Now, obviously, these fair value gaps here were filled, these inefficiencies were filled here, but we still continued to fail to push higher. So I was in a little bit of drawdown for a while, and it did make me a little bit nervous because the first time I've done this, I'm like, oh man, I'm negative like $50, which is why I'm not tripping on being up, a little bit less than a 1R, because what I was negative, we still net profited, which I'm really trying to pay attention to. Like, if this wouldn't have flipped me to the upside where I was on the positive and I didn't make more than I was risking, I would have just had to let the trade go against me or break even or something. But it's complicated in my opinion. I'm really trying to have a positive net RR and think in RRs, which is, risk to reward return. So that's really what I have going on. That's what we did today. I'm really, really excited about this, guys. I'm really excited. I feel like this is kind of a missing link, and I feel like I keep putting puzzles together doing this. And I actually think that we're overall going to be bullish, if I'm being real. I think that we're building kind of this V pattern, and we just came down and kind of swept liquidity. And I think that it's not unrealistic to think that we're going to come up and challenge some of these other levels. I'm not going to draw a bunch of boxes and do all that. I can kind of see this stuff forming as it plays out. and I'm honestly getting to a point to where I'm more interested in, like, are we respecting a trend? You know, if we're not respecting a trend or we're not respecting a channel, what's going on? Are we just consolidating? How are we consolidating? Are we testing VWAP? Are we going to VWAP? As you can see here, I think we just completely liquidated both sides. Both sides come down past this midway point just a little bit from the previous day. I don't think it's unrealistic to think that we're going to push up a little bit and push into this inverse fair value gap, which this is the bullish one. So maybe we come up here, but we're also close to midpoint, not quite on this. So the market looks like it's trying to figure out a direction and how it wants to continue. I don't really want to be around for that. I am going to be tuning into Power Hour for a while, analyzing, getting some data, and I might take a fake trade really and just kind of set up and see how things do, kind of like I did last night on here. And right over here, I didn't take this trade. I was like, man, I should have taken that trade, but I didn't, and that's not the whole point. Now, I would have been targeting this previous liquidity right here is kind of what I was thinking, a little bit past it, which I don't really do. A lot of times I like to shoot a little bit before in case we reject off that zone. But like I said, I was testing. We did some things. I'm also setting up these templates. So let's say over here, for example, let's say we'll get into a short position right here, and say this is where we're going to get in, short position. I'm going to come up here, hit my template, boom. Now it's automatically put in. So as you can see, this isn't going to be a good fill for me if I'm worried about this over here and this liquidity right here. So I would really need to wait for something more like that, and it still doesn't put me in a good spot at 7 points. So I either need to skip this trade or think about going to a 10-point stop loss, which is my absolute max I'm going to do. But hindsight 2020, I'm trying to nail down a system. This is really volatile for me, so I don't really want to do that. On the flip side, say we would have came down here and we would have been looking for buys into this zone, into this tap, or whatever, you know, like there's no indication for me to get in here other than we're rejecting off this VWAP. So say I would have gotten out on a break right here or something, I come over here, do the same thing, have the same system. Now we're right at VWAP. I don't really like that 100%, but the liquidity filling up this inefficiency, it looks a little bit better. But as you can see, I'm automating things, and eventually I'm going to be able to come over here into this zone, set up this fib retracement. We'll come up in here, we'll set down to here. We'll go right there. The math is a little bit off, but you can see your take profit 1 is at 7 points, take profit 2 is at 15 points, so it's slightly off. Take profit 3 is at 21. So that's something that I'm going to be working on, dialing in and having it look a little bit more methodical on my chart, so I can be like, okay, we got in right here. Hypothetical, of course, we didn't. I'm just giving you an example. We got in right here. Now we're hitting this take profit 1 zone. How's market structure looking? You know what I mean? Like, what are we looking like there? We get up in here. We close nice with a nice little push above this zone. And if we do close nice above that, maybe we trail to break even, or maybe we trail aggressively for the day, how we're feeling. So like if it closed and pushed right there, I would feel okay with moving to break even, risk-free on the trade, which is what I did this morning. Like I said, you guys probably already seen the screenshots by then. But look, if we get a nice push up into take profit 2 zone and it makes sense, I'm going to probably aggressively trail up into this zone to protect profits. But I'm also thinking we need to let our trades play out. So this is what I have going on. This is the thought process and the breakdown of what I'm thinking. We'll see how it plays out. We'll see how it evolves. We'll see how things go. And I'll be real with you. I'm more interested in seeing this push up to like a take profit 3 with extreme volatility, and then I want to aggressively come up, because then I've hit my target for the day, because my TP2 is really my money spot on what I'm trying to do to pass these accounts in a decent time. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what I got. So I hope that you're doing well. Let me know what you think of this. Let me know if you do something similar. Let me know if there's anything that you have to critique or any input or anything like that. And know that I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. I wish you the best on your trading journey. And man, I would love to have you a part of the community. I would love to be a part of your community. So if you make content like this or we're on a similar path, please let me know. Drop your YouTube, drop your handle, and let me follow you back as well, and let me get into the game. But I'm looking to build a community. I'm looking for like-minded individuals to grow with. So much love. As always, take care, stay blessed, and we will catch you tomorrow, or maybe even in Power or later. I don't know. I'm just going to be coming in here updating and doing what I do, you know what I'm saying? So let's do it.